SummerSlam weekend is in the books, ladies and gentlemen, meaning that we are done partying at the biggest party of the summer. Night 2 was in the books, and it had a lot to live up to after a not so universally loved Night 1 of the show. Coming off the heels of Obafemi's win in Hell in a Cell, CM Punk retaining the WWE Championship, and Randy Orton making his return to the company, they started out Night 2 hot as Kevin Owens has returned to the WWE for the first time in 17 months. How did he rebound after career-threatening neck surgery? We'll talk all about that. We'll also talk about new champions being crowned as the United States Championship changed hands. Baron Corbin making his return to WWE, winning gold, while Chad Gable won championship gold in front of his family and friends in his hometown of Minneapolis, Minnesota against Penta. Danhausen walked away with all the human monies. Chelsea Green finally is a world champion, and Michael P.S. Hayes got a title win dedicated to him. But most of all, everyone is talking about Night 2 of SummerSlam for the main event. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, 14 years of history, The Shield, The Breakup, Ambrose, steel chairs, and lore galore is what we saw to close out the show. And was it one of the WWE's best matches of the year, or another example of why Roman Reigns needs to switch up the formula just a little bit? We'll talk about the main event. We'll talk about the return of Kevin Owens and much, much more from Night 2 of the two-night SummerSlam event from Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's the True Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel. It's our WWE SummerSlam 2026 Night 2 review. Let's get to it.
Hello, this is RJ City, and I am ethically opposed to any more wrestling podcasts. I don't know why you guys are talking about wrestling. It is a niche product. It is a very small industry. Yet, at this point, there's more wrestling podcasts than there are wrestlers. There is something wrong with society as a whole, but as you get smaller and smaller into wrestling, and then the wrestling podcast sphere, it gets even worse. And one such example, if I may turn on the microscope and look at the drudgery that happens to be True Heel Heat, SP3, Sid, this is your fault.
This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero. And if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to them boys.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3, and we are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, for our WWE SummerSlam 2026 Night 2 review, breaking down last night's show from Minneapolis, Minnesota, the US Bank Stadium, for what was a 3-hour show to cap off the weekend. New champions crowned, new US champion, new Intercontinental champion, a new interim WWE Women's Champion crown. Kevin Owens returns and becomes the new number one contender, while Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins close the book on the long story of the Shield. We're going to break it all down as only we can, and to do that, I will hopefully be joined by somebody. I'm waiting on my colleague for today. He's supposedly going to be joining me very shortly here. But for now, I am riding solo dolo for all of y'all on this Monday afternoon, talking about SummerSlam Night 2. But just as soon as I say that I'm riding solo dolo, he pops up. I said his name and he appeared. He is the main man, the founder over at Dirt Sheet Radio, and of course, one of our key correspondents here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, the main man, Jon Escudero. How you doing, Jon?
I'm doing better now that I've gone to the bathroom. So we're good.
Had them bubble guts? It's okay. I get pre-recording bubble guts all the time. Don't worry.
I think I was outside. I was driving. I was doing errands. I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna be late." And then I made it in time. I was like, "Great!" And then I had to use the bathroom. Shit!
Damn it! I thought it was working. It was gonna work out fine, but it's all good. Thank you so much for everyone joining us today. Of course, drop a thumbs up on this video if you want to show your appreciation back. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family. Hit comment down below. Let us know what you thought about WWE SummerSlam Night 2. You can also hit the hype button. That helps us out a lot. Please, if you will. That helps us grow the channel even more. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell to stay notified and sound off in the live chat. If you're joining us live, we'll highlight as many of your comments as possible. But of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you want to show your support to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel in the best way possible, you could do so with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here, and we always appreciate the support. We got Goldie Loke hitting us up saying, "What it do at THH? I think my eyes was cursed because both nights wasn't too bad again. Must literate, not too bad. LOL." So yeah, he's emphasizing not too bad. That's what he thought overall. What's kind of your overall thoughts now that SummerSlam weekend is in the books?
I think overall, if I had to judge both of them at the same time, then it's overall it ends up being a thumbs in the middle situation. But if you much like WrestleMania, if you split it in half, one is a thumbs in the middle, the other one's a thumbs up. It's not like it's not so drastic like WrestleMania. WrestleMania night 1 was like horrible, and then night 2 was like excellent. Well, this one was like night 1 was horrible, and night 2 was all right, especially compared to night 1.
Yeah,
like is that racist?
I think yeah, that's crazy. I think night 1 of WrestleMania is one of the worst wrestling shows I've ever witnessed. Well, night 1 of SummerSlam was just a mid show. It's a show of two halves. Whereas, and then night 2 of WrestleMania was great. Whereas night 2 of SummerSlam, it was fine, solid.
Yeah.
So yeah. Night 1 of SummerSlam was better than night 1 of WrestleMania, but night 2 of WrestleMania was better than night 2 of SummerSlam. We got Chuck Berries who says, "What's good, THH fam? I thought that there was some good about night 2, but also there was some bad about night 2 as well. The Owens surprise was my highlight of the weekend, though. I think that's a lot of people's highlight of the whole entire weekend." Timmy adds, he says, "Roman versus Seth was the pro wrestling match of the year. Poetry, 5 stars.
Well, it was certainly enjoyable. I thought I liked it.
I tend to feel like people can't just say this match was great. They have to go overboard if they enjoyed it a lot. But I had people who hit me up and said that the match was an all timer. So I feel like that we can all agree though the match was better than Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk. So.
Oh yeah.
another big 4 PLE, another Roman greater than Cody. It's like clockwork. Seems like every time we got you here talking about WWE PLE, we saying the same thing every single time, John. Alex says that was a great way to wrap up the Seth Roman story. We got Annika who says RKO is back. Please do not screw him versus Punk up. We also got Dion in the chat who says, what's up, THH? Between both nights, there's a really good one-night SummerSlam in there. I hope they drop the 2 nights going forward. 3 to 4 of these matches could have been thrown on the pre-show. He mentions them as well. He says Fatal Influence / Total Divas, Danhausen / Dom, Trick and Corbin. All of those matches were among the worst of the week.
Yeah, for sure. Although I'll give you that they would not put that Danhausen Dom thing on a pre-show. They really like that stuff right in the middle of the card.
Mm-hmm. It's very true. It's very true. We got Chuck Berries. Thank you so much for joining us. He says, for me, WWE created quite a few happy moments. KO returning, Corbin winning, Chelsea Green winning, and Gable. Those are the positives. The negative is not enough time for some of those matches. I think there's a lot bigger negatives about both nights of SummerSlam than not enough time for some matches. That's more of a nitpick than a negative.
Yeah, I wouldn't. And the only match that I was like definitely didn't have enough time was like Chad Gable versus Penta. But we'll talk about it.
Night 2 had 2. I think the opener too. The opener went 8 minutes.
That's 8 minutes for like those guys.
For 4 of your best workers. 4 of your best workers. You only have 8 minutes.
That's right.
We got Matthew who says SummerSlam was the epitome of a 5 out of 10 show if there was one. We got Myron Kidd who says straight to mid-card purgatory you go, Trick, said the WWE. Guys, I don't think it's that serious. I really think that it's just a program to put the title back on Trick.
Yeah.
Annika saying they got to stop letting Roman pick which matches are going to be on his night 2. I don't think Roman has a say in that. He just has a say in him main eventing.
Brother doesn't. He don't watch the show. He doesn't know who else works there.
Myron Kidd says somebody called SummerSlam the worst major wrestling show of the year. He says, nah, that was WrestleMania 42. I don't even think, because WrestleMania 42, you have to grade it overall for both nights. So I think if I remember correctly, I think I gave like a 4 to night 1 and an 8 to night 2. That's 12 divided by 2 is 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 is not the worst show of the year. WWE has had worse shows than that show. I feel like Royal Rumble was worse than WrestleMania this year.
I like the only thing I remember about the Royal Rumble is the damn set. and the 10-minute pyro afterwards. That was wild.
Only thing I enjoyed about the show was Roman winning and AJ and Gunther.
That's right. That match did happen.
Yeah, that's the only 2 things. I thought the women's Royal Rumble was horrible. I thought the men's Royal Rumble was poorly put together. So yeah, that to me is worse than the overall WrestleMania 42. If you're talking about singular show, yeah,
WrestleMania night 1,
42,
probably, yeah. I mean, I get the want to talk about them as one show because they have the same name, but technically, I would also call them separate shows. They're so fucking long. There's so many commercials.
It's true. Yeah. As far as one singular bad show, yeah, it's WrestleMania 42 night 1. That's for sure. Venom saying the match was fine, but better than night 1 main event. Talking about Roman and Seth. And then we also got Tech who says, meanwhile, the Cody Punk match has been praised online by a variety of critics. CBS Sports gave it an A-. CBS Sports is not somebody that you should be trusting on rating wrestling matches. Dude, I don't even know why you even put that in the comments, bro.
It's not, you know what? It's not your fault because it's like CBS Sports, like, oh my God. But also when they do things like this, that's how you know they were watching the show while playing fucking on their phone. Oh, it's Cody and Punk. They must have had a good match. Like you wouldn't know. You didn't watch it. And if you did, you don't understand what you're looking at anyway.
Yeah. And Tech, I don't know where you've been or what you were watching. He said, I figured it'd be more polarizing the WWE Championship matchup. I mean, it is polarizing. It definitely is polarizing.
As a matter of fact,
there's people that hated that matchup.
I was gonna say I don't know enough people who liked it to call it polarizing. I'll just call it bad. Straight up call it bad. But I guess I have to look around other places on the internet. Maybe there's loyalists that are like celebrating the shit out of it.
Yeah, and I don't know the variety of critics Texas was talking about, because naming CBS Sport as the only credits that you wanted to mention.
I remember Bleacher Report gave them a fucking B or something like that.
Yeah, they gave B. And I think that's closer to being accurate than A-.
That's really closer than A. I'll say.
That's closer than A-. And I know we talked about Dave Meltzer really enjoyed
it. Loved it too, fucking crazy old man.
And I know like the dude Ali from Wrestle Talk, he liked it. But mind you, those people that I'm naming by name, Dave Meltzer, Ali is a well-known CM Punk mark. Dave Meltzer has been given Solo Sikoa matches against Cody Rhodes 4 stars for over the last 3 years. These are fucking marks. Like I'm gonna say it. I'm sorry. I love Dave Meltzer. He's the reason that I'm on screen right now talking about professional wrestling. One of the most decorated and respected journalists and reporters in the wrestling media game. This nigga is biased to Cody Rhodes. Like that's not even a debate. That's not even debate. People that like him, people that hate him will tell you the same thing. He loves Cody Rhodes matches. Ali cried when CM Punk returned to AEW. These are not people that have objective views of this matchup.
It was either guy in the crowd, the CM Punk guy, crying CM Punk guy. Classic.
Around the Point Network saying Punk versus Cody on Saturday was like a steak dinner where the steak wasn't the star of the dish.
I'm eating potatoes and I'm enjoying these potatoes more than that.
More than me. I don't know. Potatoes are rocking.
This meat is tough. I can't get my fucking knife through it.
It's juicy. I see. Oh, juice. It's so juicy. It's too juicy.
Going back to the potato.
Going back to potatoes. Conrad saying WWE matches too short. They need the time for entrances and ads. Thank God for the G1.
Thank God for the G1 is right. Damn right.
Absolutely. Especially after yesterday. I had to rewatch some of those matches because I was working at the time yesterday. And man, that Hanare and Gabe Kidd match is one of the best matches of the whole entire tournament.
Beat the shit out of each other, bro.
I watched that a second time. I loved it the first time. I watched it a second time this morning before I did In the Weeds, and I was like, this match is even better. Even better. I was like, I haven't gone and like I think Dave is probably gonna give that 5 stars the way he was talking about it.
I fucking hope so because I felt it while I was watching. I was like, bro.
Yeah.
I know I like Hinare, and I know Hinare has good hard hitting matches, but I just for some reason didn't expect like that banger. Like, holy shit.
I did because I got to interview him for In the Weeds with Jeremy, and I brought that match. I brought the match they were talking about on commentary, the Kurgan Hall match. That's one of my favorite like underrated gems of the last couple of years. They beat the shit out of each other in Kurgan Hall and did the double knockout finish, and I've been asking for that matchup ever since. I've been asking for that matchup ever since, and they went ham. This is all killer, no filler. You get Gabe coming out in his gear. He takes off his gear, goes into wrestling gear, and then he goes right to the ring, and they just it's like, oh my God, this is the type of wrestling that I needed. We guys also here in the chat. I'm not doing Ollie. Ollie knows I love him. He did cry to CM Punk's debut, so I'm sorry. I can't say that he's that objective when talking. And also, I know that he was watching it on a watch along for the Wrestle Talk Patreon.
Oh, bro,
thus, he was. Huh?
I said, was he performing?
No. He was watching the show for a Wrestle Talk watch along. Thus, he did not have the volume up on the matchup. So he is watching that matchup in silence. So if I'm watching that matchup in silence and I don't realize the crowd is dead for everything going on, yeah, it probably looks better. So it's a different experience watching the matchup than what I had.
If he had unmuted it, he would have been confused. Like, did I unmute this?
Oh my God! Project Finisher says I used to have Undertaker as my profile. Then he had an orange piece of shit on his podcast and used a BS excuse for why it's okay to deport families. So yeah, you don't have to continue to respect the people you used to.
It does get that way, especially these days. I didn't even know he did that. Once I saw the shirt that one time on the documentary, I was like, oh, that's enough.
Enough for me. I was like, no, it was the Last Ride documentary. Yeah, that's what I was like. I've always had a weird relationship with the Undertaker. A lot of people that have been watching our podcast from the start can tell you I used to have my whole gimmick when we started this podcast was me like praying that the Undertaker didn't come out of retirement back in 2017 after he retired at WrestleMania, and then hating him after he pulled the Brett. I call him the Brett Favre of pro wrestling. This dude has retired, unretired so many different times. Like, yeah, I have a very interesting relationship with him, but I got to interview him last year. I understand that sometimes you're going to interview people that you don't have a lot of the same views with. So that's how I
just assume that the people I talk shit about will never speak to me. So I'm like, if we do cross paths, we're going to have some explaining to do.
Hey, we're small time here so far. So maybe he hasn't heard all the times I cursed him out. We got Dion mentioned the Roye Ulloa versus Sonata match. I'm gonna watch that back because I love that finish.
The whole match with him just going back to the side headlock and I think at one point he reversed like a spear or something into a side headlock, and I was like, yeah, I love you.
Roye Ulloa has some of the most interesting matches, especially
he's my favorite. Like him and Ice are my favorite fucking young guys. Like that's I told you when I saw them in the ring
Ice
together,
and Uemura. Ice and Uemura.
Uemura feels like the generation before Ice and Ulloa. Like I put him,
he is
Narita and all them in their own spot, and then these guys are like coming after them in my head anyway. I hope, I hope because there's some guys that I was really big on in New Japan that were young, like I think Akita Mora, but like I was like, man, he's gonna be the future, and it just didn't turn out, and then he fucking died. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So I've been traumatized ever since. But the hope is that Ulloa and Ice will someday be a main event down the line.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think for sure. I think for sure Uemura and Ice. They have that whole rivalry from breaking his arm. So that's going to be a Tokyo Dome main event for sure. We got a super chat donation from Willis Wheeler. Thank you so much for the support. Saying Triple H is on some nasty work. No black champs in WWE at a time when AEW has all of their female singles champions in All Elite Wrestling and Ring of Honor are all black champions, except for one, Deonna Purrazzo, who's Italian. So but
we got a little seasoning.
we got some representation elsewhere. So yeah, so it's crazy. It's crazy to the fact that he's just
Triple H on his Kevin Feige shit.
He's like, Black Panther? What? Who wants to see that?
Take that shit out.
All right, let's get into the show. It is time to talk about WWE SummerSlam 2026 Night 2. John, Give me one word, one phrase to give your overall thoughts on night 2 of SummerSlam.
Improvement.
My word is better. Better. That's better. And why is it better? Well, it's really a lot of it comes down to how the show started, because we get Darius Rucker from the Hootie and the Blowfish. He's a real wrestling fanatic. I've seen him for years at wrestling shows. He sang the Star Spangled Banner much better than night 1. Improvement. What did you think about the Minneapolis, Minnesota crowd for night 2?
Actually, we're not bad. They weren't a bad crowd. And I would even play, like, I didn't even think night 1 was bad. I just think they had bad stuff to work with. Like, those guys were like, we want to enjoy the show.
We swear we want to enjoy this show. Like, we paid a lot of money to be here.
Bro, talking about a lot of money, the names on the side of the ring thing is fucking kills me, because how much you think they pay for that shit? Like 5 figures at least. You know what I mean? Like, I never see there. I didn't see a single fucking name on screen. You know, I didn't see nobody bleed on it. I think Roman spit on the motherfucker at one point. Like, it's just stupid as shit, bro.
WWE for you. It's WWE. So yeah, the show kicked off with the number 1 contenders matchup to determine who was next for the undisputed WWE Championship. The match was scheduled as followed: Finn Balor coming out to kick things off to open the show. He is then joined by the former undisputed WWE champion himself, Sami Zayn. Both men got pretty good reactions. Zayn got some heel heat as well during his entrance. Nick Aldis comes out before the matchup, reminding everyone that he got rehired as SmackDown general manager after Paul Triple H Levesque reinstated him. And he says that he wants to do what's best for business. So he is adding our participant to the number 1 contenders matchup. And it is the man that beat him the night prior, the ring general, GUNTHER. GUNTHER comes out. He is all smiles. He even gives Aldis a very disingenuous handshake as he's smiling and laughing, making his way to the ring. Meanwhile, in the ring, Sami Zayn is going ballistic as this match has changed to a triple threat. But it has not changed to a triple threat, as Aldis once again gets on the mic. And he says that I didn't say how many participants I was adding to the matchup, because I'm making this matchup a fatal 4-way. We get the pause, and then the 4th participant's music hits, and it is none other than the prize fighter, Kevin Owens. For the first time in 17 months, since Kevin Owens is stepping back in a WWE ring. Though if there was a roof, or if there wasn't a roof, it got blown off, because this crowd went nuts for Kevin Owens being back in the ring in well over a year. And right from the start, KO did not miss a beat. He goes right after GUNTHER and then Balor, while Zayn is just standing there looking on in shock. Owens takes out both Balor and GUNTHER with cannonballs in the corner, and then he goes face-to-face with Sami Zayn. The two longtime frenemies stand face-to-face. They stare down until they decide to hug one another. Then immediately upon hugging one another, they start swinging, because it's always chicken versus Peter Griffin when Owens and Zayn are around. Owens flattens Zayn with a senton. Zayn drops to the floor to regroup, but Owens takes out all 3 of his opponents with a freaking swanton to the floor after coming back from neck fusion surgery. That's ridiculous. He gets on the top rope, hits a swanton in the ring. He tries to go for the stunner, but Gunther is able to reverse that into a sleeper. Zayn and Balor broke that up, but then Gunther's still in control. Gunther and Balor had a nice exchange. Gunther gets hit with sling blades. Then Balor hits a sling blade on Zayn, hits a shotgun dropkick on Zayn into Gunther. Gunther then hits Balor with his own shotgun dropkick. He drops him with a big power bomb, and then he tries to follow up with the Boston Crab to make Balor give up. But at this point, this is when Kevin Owens finally recovers and he comes back into the ring. He starts stomping a mud hole and walking it dry on the ring general as he broke up the Boston Crab and started bringing the pain to him. Gunther booted Owens down, but Owens popped up and hits a clothesline. We get Balor, who caught Owens with an enziguri. He goes for a superplex, but Owens countered that into the twisting fisherman superplex. Zayn ducked Owens and tried to steal the pin, but Balor kicked out. Owens went for a swanton and a prone Zayn, but Zayn got his knees up, and Owens immediately started selling his neck. Sami tried for a loofah kick, but Gunther was able to cut him off with a sleeper. Balor crashed that party by coming off of the top rope with the coup de grace, and he killed Sami Zayn. Coup de grace right to the fucking shoulder of Zayn.
Yeah,
I was like,
that looked nasty. That looked nasty.
That was gross. Balor crashes that. He goes for the cover, but Gunther breaks it up. You then get Owens, who comes in. Stunner for Gunther. He tries one on Balor. Stunner for Balor. Turns around and he goes for one on Zayn, but Zayn is able to reverse it into a Blue Thunder Bomb. Blue Thunder Bomb only gets a near fall. We then get Owens put in the corner. Zayn goes for the Aluva kick, but Owens catches him with the super kick and then finishes things off with one more stunner. 1, 2, 3. Kevin Owens wins this fatal 4-way matchup and is your new number 1 contender for the undisputed WWE Championship. This sets up a tantalizing dream match to go down. Kevin Owens versus CM Punk for the undisputed WWE Championship. This is a company that we have been begging for fresh new matchups in the main event picture, and it don't get as fresh as Kevin Owens and CM Punk for the first time. Honestly, this feels as big as it could have been the main event of SummerSlam. That's how big this match feels, but I don't always feel like WWE view Kevin Owens in the same way that we view Kevin Owens, because man, this dude is beloved. For a guy that is great as a heel, that draws heat and draws hatred from the crowd, whenever he's gone and comes back, he gets the hero's welcome every single time. And coming back from career-threatening neck surgery, he got one of the biggest pops of the whole entire weekend, if not the biggest pop of the whole entire weekend.
It was beyond a pop. Like, you're talking several people burst into tears, you know, like full on. And it was such a surprise for so many people that I would not even compare that to anything else. Like, I would not make fun of you if you cried when Kevin Owens came back, because it was it looked like he might not. It looked like his career might be over at one point. So there were reports that he was in Minnesota over the weekend, but he had signings. So there was no way of knowing that like he would show up here. I certainly I didn't think he was coming back. Not now, not right this second. I thought maybe later this week or down the line, but great way to do that. Big surprise. It sets up a lot of story possibilities. Gunther, Sami, Finn, they can all feel screwed. Gunther has no right to feel screwed, but he's delusional, so he'll be like
Sami was screwed. Sami was
screwed. Balor was screwed. I would like to see Finn Balor act on that. Like, I know Sami's gonna be like, you motherfuckers got me, but Finn Balor was talking about how important this was to him, and it's been 10 years since I lost my opportunity at the championship, and it came and fucked him over like that. So I would like to see him. And now this is
twice, because he lost the Universal Championship. Who was the one who won it after he had to be relinquished? Kevin Owens. He has an opportunity to redeem himself back at the same event that he got injured at SummerSlam 2026. Who's the one that steals it from him? Kevin Owens.
The only thing that sucks is that we kind of waited a long time for Balor to go back babyface. So like it kind of sucks. But Kevin Owens, one of my favorite wrestlers. It's one of those guys that I've been watching for so long. Like when I was watching him as Kevin Steen in Ring of Honor, I didn't even think I never thought WWE would take him seriously. You know, like he's so unique. His promos are non-WWE like. His body type is non-WWE like, and he never changed it. And he went up there and he retained as much of himself as possible. There's a lot of people don't give
as much as anyone who's been gone from the Indies to WWE.
Yep. That's like literally as close as possible. The difference between Kevin Owens and Kevin Steen is a television rating, you know?
Yeah.
So I was very excited to see him come back. 8 minutes is unforgivable, but I guess he is, you know, he's fresh off the neck, and they're like, we don't want to put him in a full match, but you put him in a titles opportunity. So I don't know about that. You might have wanted to test him out first. It was fine though. It wasn't bad. It certainly wasn't bad. There was no time for it to be bad. It was just boom, 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 and it was over.
Yeah.
So,
it was all action.
I thought ultimately, in the end, when we look back, the Kevin Owens return from injury will be like a big moment. Like we'll remember the day he came back and people in the crowd shed tears and that pop was insane. Tiffany Stratton didn't get a pop 1/8 that loud, and she lives there.
Man, Chad Gable got a good pop, and he didn't get 1/8 of what Kevin Owens got here. Yeah, I'm gonna give the matchup. I didn't give my rating. I'm gonna give the matchup 3.5 stars. I feel like if it got 5 more minutes, it's an easy 4-star matchup because they're 4 of the best guys in the company. But because it got kind of hamstrung by the time they were allotted, I'll give it 3.5 stars.
Yeah, it's kind of, I think I'd agree with that. 3.5 sounds about right. They were moving out there. It was great. It was a big moment attached to the match. That's where my 0.5 comes in.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3.5. Hell yeah.
Yeah. And got to give it up to Kevin Owens as well for what he did on the post show, shouting out Rebel and talking about how inspirational she's been since being diagnosed with ALS and how she's been dealing with the situation. That was really, really nice, man. Kevin Owens, one of the best guys in WWE.
He's one of the best for doing that too, not really letting the boundaries stop him from paying tribute to someone who was important to him. I think I remember him bringing up the Briscoes at one point, and Jay Briscoe in particular, you know, so he's always great for that.
Yeah. We got a super chat donation here from our good friend Dion Jenkins. Thank you so much for the support. He says the SmackDown men's division is kind of stacked. They need some help on Raw. I think Reed or Drew might go after Oba next. No idea what Seth does on Raw. Yeah, like overnight, they have totally turned around. Like Raw has had for the longest time, especially since in the Netflix premiere, the better men's division than Friday Night SmackDown. Friday Night SmackDown has had to be carried by Cody Rhodes for well over a year now. And then, you after WrestleMania, you move Punk over, heading into SummerSlam. That improves things. After WrestleMania, you moved Gunther over there. Now you got the returns of Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, and now the SmackDown men's scene is stacked, whereas Raw, they have kind of lost a couple of their main eventers. Jey Uso, they made into a tag team guy again in the Bloodline. Jacob Fatu, who was on fire just like 3-4 months ago. He's just the enforcer for the Bloodline. Bron Breakker, who was the star on the Rise last year. He's just a tag team guy in the Vision. So yeah, like it turned everything around. Whereas, like, really, there's only 2 matches for Roman to do now. It's LA Knight, which I think that's probably going to be the Money in the Bank matchup. You could throw in a third if you think Solo Sikoa is going to get on fire in the next couple of months, and maybe he can get one before the end of the year. Yeah. But it's just Oba after that. It's just Oba. That's all that's left for the men's division.
You know what? The thing about Raw, though, is if they changed the way they used some guys, they wouldn't be in such a bad situation. It's not like it's not like Bron Breakker's injured. Like you have him wearing these stupid weights. Like he's walking around dragging Logan Paul's career. Like Austin Austin Theory and Logan Paul is not an act that's so important to the ecosystem of Monday Night Raw that you need to sacrifice Bron Breakker to keep that gimmick alive. Dead that shit. Dead this stupid vision shit. Get rid of Austin Theory. Bro, get the fuck out of here. Go to NXT. Get out of here. This is a failed a multi-time failed project. Yes, he looks good. That's it. That's it. It's over, bro. That's a dead dream. Thinking about how Bron Breakker is straight up gone from the main event scene, gone from anybody's mind to the point where Raw looks like shit and Bron Breakker don't even look like a possibility is disappointing. It had me thinking like, man, I wonder when his contract is up. I know he's a royalist. He's not thinking like that. I'm sure he believes that whatever Triple H told him, your patience, your time will come or whatever. But as a person who's watching this show, man, I could talk about Bron Breakker for fucking days about how this is a wasted opportunity. And they're little, because they do the thing on Unreal where it's like we act like we're shoving someone down so that we can give them a push later on. Like, so you telling me Bron Breakker needs that? Bron Breakker didn't fucking need that.
We're gonna take his push away so we build him up stronger, more organically.
Yeah, man. Get that shit to LA Knight or something, man. Get the fuck Bron Breakker needs that shit for. Bron Breakker is such a natural. Bron Breakker is not on the SummerSlam card, and he's perfectly healthy.
He wasn't on WrestleMania card or SummerSlam.
And I know they sold him some bullshit for WrestleMania. Oh, you're going to have a moment. It's going to be a WrestleMania moment. It's more important than anything.
It's going to be bigger than any matchup that you would have had. You're going to have this moment that everybody's going to be talking about for years to come.
Get that man out of there. Teacher, someone get him to watch some tape so he can actually fall in love with wrestling and realize that he needs to get the fuck out of there.
No, you know what's so funny about that? It reminds me of the commercial for Unreal where Seth is telling Braun backstage that him turning on him in the vision is going to be replayed for years to come. That shit is not even replayable now. We're not even a year later.
No, Volop has a good point. He's talking about Bron Breakker's faith on Raw sometimes where he looks completely disinterested in anything that's going on, and I don't blame him. Like, what the fuck? Why am I, a lot of times I'll be like, you know what, when they hand you shit, if you can turn it into sugar, then fine. Like, that's what they're looking for sometimes anyway. But why was Bron Breakker being put through trials and tribulations? Like, what the fuck? What did you get cocky backstage? Did you start talking shit, Rondo?
I've said this many times on the channel. This is the most public burial we've seen in the Triple H era outside of Austin Theory, his tag team fucking partner.
People are gonna say, you don't use the word buried, right? He's not buried. I don't know what else you call what is happening to him. Such a fall down the card. You're talking about he's in there selling for Otis for 6 minutes straight. Bron Breakker is. I like Otis. I like Otis a lot. Otis is a fucking enhancement talent at this point, and he could have been more. That's another one they wasted. But he isn't. It's to see Bron Breakker even with a guy that we know you don't believe in. It's concerning. All right, I don't want to hear no Triple H. I wish the fans wouldn't put it on the writers. But who wrote this shit? You wrote Bron Breakker into being trash. I'm supposed to be mad at Bron Breakker now?
Exactly. Apparently, you're supposed to be mad at Braun, not Triple H, for not pushing him correctly.
Patience. It'll come.
It'll come, put your investment in the fans. Then we got Dion who says Braun hasn't spoken in weeks. We don't know his thoughts on anything that's happening in the vision. He's in the doghouse. It's obvious to me, it's obvious to John, it's obvious to y'all. It's going to be some people it's not so obvious to.
I guess the question is, what did you do, bro? What did you do?
I just want to know, did he shit in somebody's bag? Did he make a pass at Stephanie? Did he make a pass at his daughter?
I think about what happened to Big Show and Mark Henry back in the day, where they got pushed a little early and then they were backstage talking crazy, and someone was like, send them down south, send them to developmental, send them to OVW. Maybe Bron was backstage talking shit, and they were like, no, it's humble time. You're getting humble.
He just needs some humble pie. How about we bury him? Well, let's go to the second match on the show. Yes, I'm sorry. We do have to do that. It is Trick Williams defending the United States Championship with Little Yachty in his corner against Baron Corbin. This is Corbin's first match back in WWE in 2 years. Williams started off fast. He started bringing the offense to Corbin. He flattened him with a flapjack, stomped a mud hole in him and walked it dry, clothesline to the floor. He dropped to the floor and he pulls out a Slim Jim table, but Corbin rolled back into the ring to regroup, and when Williams gave chase, he hits him with the deep six on the floor. Corbin threw Williams into various hard objects around ringside. It looked like Williams had been busted open hard way during the brawl on the floor. We get the camera then went to the floor, and little Yachty got in Corbin's face, and he got shoved down in the process. They did show during this matchup a shot of the hard camera, and you could see the swarm of empty seats on the hard camera side. Then you get Yachty, who chased Corbin back into the ring with his kendo stick. The fight then went back into the ring where Williams took over with some leg lariats and a bookend to get a near fall. Corbin came back and he reverses a fireman's carry with an eye rake. Yachty then hits Corbin with the kendo stick, and Corbin had to wait forever. You can hear him saying, "Where the fuck is Yachty at?" as he's like waiting to get hit with the kendo stick. Then we get Williams, who dropped Corbin with the Death Valley driver for a near fall. Corbin went for the end of days, but Williams flips out of it, hits a scissor kick, and he gets another near fall. Corbin evaded the trick shot and dropped to the floor. He grabbed the United States Championship, but Yachty grabs it from him. Corbin then pulled Yachty up to the apron. Williams went to save Yachty, but in the process of hitting Corbin, he knocks Yachty off the apron, through the table, or when I say through, I meant that figuratively, because all he did was bounce off the table, dent it, and then the table and him fall over in the process. With this distraction and the referee checking on Yachty, we get Corbin, who takes over. He hits Williams with the United States Championship, hits the end of days, and gets the victory to become a two-time United States champion. This match went over 9 minutes. That is 9 minutes way too long. This match was not good. I think Corbin is he's very solid when he can be. He's got a very underrated arsenal in the ring, and he's a very underrated big man in general. So I understand why WWE hired him back. I don't understand why WWE hired him back for his first match to be against Trick Williams, who is on a very, very disappointing run of premium live event matches. For a guy that WWE have paid as a future top star, he has not had a good PLE match since getting called up to the main roster. And I'm sorry to say that, but it is true. And it isn't like he's been facing a whole bunch of Baron Corbins. He's got 2 matches against Sami Zayn, and neither one of them is that memorable or that good to begin with. So the fact that you're bringing Baron Corbin back and you expect him to have a good matchup with Trick Williams needs someone like a Sami Zayn, like a Seth Rollins, like a Gunther to have that good matchup on pay-per-view. It's not going to be with Corbin, and all of this feels like a waste because you're putting the title on Corbin for Corbin to get some heat, for Corbin to get some momentum, all for it to probably end with Trick beating Corbin back for the United States Championship. So it just feels like a waste of time, similar to what I said about Hell in a Cell the night prior. The match overall, I'll give it a star. John?
Yeah, I wouldn't go dud on it because yesterday we saw a real dud. And so I'd go about a star and a half. It wasn't even, they were on commentary saying Baron Corbin is he's done Muay Thai and he's like ranked, and and they were putting it over as if it was like part of his new gimmick
Arsenal.
or whatever. And then he didn't do any Muay Thai, and I was like, oh, okay. Well,
he did some ground and pound, and that's about it.
So that was a waste of time. But you know, I don't even want to shit on him too bad. Like, Baron Corbin is not a bad talent. I think he was booked in a really bad position for a long time. And he's got a stink on him that I just don't know if it can ever be washed away. I don't even know. I don't think he was out of the company long enough. Like, I don't think he did anything.
He was out since November of 2024.
He didn't do anything out there notable enough. Like, I got a glimpse of greatness when he went to Arena Mexico, and him and Dijak were like really working off the crowd, and
they had that great tag team match with Averno and I forgot who the tag team. I think it was
Ultimo Fernandez. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that's why I was like, oh wow, like if he will have more international experiences like this, he might be able to develop it as something new, something different, and it will be really good. And then they just took him back. So he's just Baron Corbin. Like he's just Baron Corbin. You can say he's got like Muay Thai now or whatever. Like, he's changed. He went around the world, but he's not doing nothing different. As a matter of fact, the story of this match was that he really needed to hit the end of days. Like, that was the story of the match. There was no Muay Thai involved. He just kept trying to hit the end of days and get him reversed. You know, like when you play 2K and it's too early and they keep reversing you, so you just spam that shit until you get it. That's what he did. So I don't know if I'm supposed to care about this motherfucker, or if he's just here to be somebody that Trick Williams needs to chase for the title. But I don't care about Braun, and Trick is slowly like. He's like a tire with a leak. You know, it's just coming out. I don't know how to stop this. I keep putting patches on it, but it won't stop leaking. And then part of that is because he's just not the. I feel like they're not helping him. They're not setting him up for greatness. But then they gave him Sami Zayn, so it's like. Yeah. This Baron Corbin thing is not gonna help, but also you had Sami Zayn, so like you had one. You could have had credit, you know, you could have had goodwill built so that when this sucks, you will know, like, oh, but he's got something. Unfortunately, it's looking more and more like Ilya Dragunov did the greatest carry job of the century, and he's not, and he's off TV. while you're on TV. So give the fur coat to Ilya is what I'm saying.
And he's had great matches with like Obafemi and Javon Evans in a triple threat.
Yeah, but that Ilya Dragunov singles match was the one that I'm like,
yeah, that's the one that put him on the match.
Because it's just you and him. Like, you can be like, okay, well, I'm sure he had some involvement in putting that together. There's something there. And I'm starting to think maybe Ilya's. Just call the whole thing.
It's just that guy.
Follow my lead.
It's also in the fact of like I can appreciate a celebrity that likes wrestling, but Little Lottie has taken away some of what made Trick Williams special. I think that we've given it enough time where Trick Williams was way more over without Yachty than he is with Yachty.
But I think part of that is more booking than Yachty. Like, ever since WrestleMania, they've done bullshit with Trick Williams. Yeah. If Yachty would have been next to Trick while they did good shit, I don't think Yachty would have taken anything away from him or would have feel like it. I just think they book him like shit, and they don't think they are, because the crowd still chants whoop that Trick. So we must be doing something right.
And even that entrance yesterday, that was subdued. The whoop that Trick in Minnesota.
I don't think I don't know about Minnesota and whoop that Trick. It's Minnesota.
To be fair, you might have a point. We got Lab Goss who says Ilya is criminally not used. We got Emmanuel who says, when is Ilya's contract is up? He need him in the C2, LOL. I think he's gonna be there for a while, y'all. I think he re-signed. I think he re-signed when he came back last year.
And he wouldn't have been wrong for doing that then. Like, oh wow, I was United States champion. I was working with Carl. We're gonna do some great stuff. Fuck.
Unfortunately, that did not last too long. So you would think after a matchup that wasn't too good, they would come back with something a little bit better, right? Not SummerSlam. Yeah, we have the interim WWE Women's Championship ladder match is up next. Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, Chelsea Green, Lash Legend, and Charlotte Flair are our participants. The winner is the person who climbs the ladder, retrieves the interim WWE Women's Championship to become the champ. We start things off, and Cargill went right after Flair on the floor before the bell even rang. You get Stratton who tries a Hurricane Rana on Lash, but Lash power bombs her on a standing ladder. Then we get Green who dove at Lash, but she got chokeslam into the standing ladder. Charlotte and Lash go at it. Legend slammed Flair into a ladder, and then Cargill kept Legend from setting up a ladder, but they teamed up to deal with Green and Stratton. Cargill then dumped Lash with a suplex. Flair came off the top rope with a crossbody on Cargill. Legend then dumped Flair to the floor and then got to setting up a ladder. Stratton dropped Cargill with a code breaker. Charlotte and Stratton, they squared off with one another, ending with Stratton face first into a ladder. Green came in with a drop kick to Flair. She tried to climb a ladder, but Cargill pulled her down. We get Legend, who was fighting with Stratton in the corner. Stratton sandwiched Legend in between the turnbuckle and a ladder. Stratton stupidly tries for a Hurricane Rana while a ladder bridge is underneath her. I was like, what's the point of that move? To hurt yourself or to hurt Lash? Because that was like very, very odd setup. Because it felt like they thought of how that whole spot was going to end and not how they're going to set it up. But to each his own. Lash reverses that into a big powerbomb choke slam onto the ladder bridge. We get Lash who climbs the ladder, but Stratton caught her going up. She then grabbed Stratton for a powerbomb, but Stratton countered it into a Rana into the ladder. We get Stratton who's climbing the ladder as the crowd is cheering because Chelsea Green is here. She tips over the ladder and Stratton goes flying, crashing into three women on the floor with a senton. We get Green, who then started climbing the ladder yet again as the crowd is just going absolutely nuts when B-Fab and Meechin ran in and attacked Chelsea, laying her out. This helps Cargill to get back into play as she gets back into the ring, but Flair goes after B-Fab and Meechin, and she starts climbing alongside Jade. They fight at the top of the ladder. Meanwhile, another ladder is set up. All the while, Chelsea Green is still hanging from the middle ladder. You get Tiffy and Lash. They start fighting until eventually Jade pushes their ladder over, and Lash and Tiffy are out of it. Then she goes back to fighting with Charlotte on top of their ladder until they get pulled off of the ladder at the same time and crash and burn on the mat. Meanwhile, the crowd is going crazy trying to wake up Chelsea and get her to climb the ladder again. She wakes up, she rises up, sits up like the Undertaker, eventually climbs the ladder, and she is all alone to retrieve the interim WWE Women's Championship as Chelsea Green picks up the biggest win of her career. Great results, the right result of this matchup. It was quite obvious that Chelsea Green was the most popular woman in this matchup, and the crowd were begging for her to get the win, so the right result. But my God, was this not a good ladder match. For all the praise that I gave the Redemption ladder match last week on this channel, I had people who were telling me, oh, it was just a ladder match where they didn't climb the ladder to try to retrieve the contract. They were just setting up for the next spot. But those next spots were all cool and all innovative and all got the crowd going crazy. This one was very similar to that one in that people decided not to climb the ladder to get the title. They instead wanted to set up the ladder to set up the next spot, and those spots fucking sucked. So I'll give this match 1.5 stars. Like I said, the right result, They did put their body on the line, so I'll give it more than a star. It's better than the last matchup, but not by much. This was sloppy. This was not well coordinated, not well done. None of the spots were all that memorable outside of the stupidity of Tiffany Stratton to try a Hurricane Rana with a ladder bridge under her. Outside of that, I won't remember it outside of the result. John?
I'm not as harsh on it as you and some other guys have been. I think, but mostly because I have a soft spot for ladder matches where people, I'm not saying they get injured, but where they are clearly hurting. So like that shit hurts. Like that shit looks like it fucking hurts. Everything they did on a ladder looked like it fucking hurt because nobody is heavy enough to like really dent these ladders. So it was just like splat. Like, oh my god. I think that fucking power bomb, bro. Tiffany Stratton. Yeah, it didn't make sense. Because if you think about it, it's like, what were you gonna do? Break your own neck?
Exactly. It did not make sense at all. That's why like that spot is the most memorable of the matchup. But it does not make sense what she was doing.
At all. But when she bounced off that shit, and I'm talking the ladder didn't even dent, she just cracked. I was like, oh my god. So yeah, I got a lot of enjoyment watching these girls beat the shit out of each other. And yeah, it was messy. They were legitimately hurting each other at multiple points. It was rough. If you're getting graded objectively, then yes, that shit was fucking. It was like, but I had fun. It's like, wow.
It was a fun train wreck. It was a fun train wreck.
And then it had the right moment at the end. I thought when I was looking at the lineup, I was like, the most interesting decision would be Chelsea Green because she's got all this other shit, and they've got the excuse me, the Michael Hayes thing. You know, like he said that on Unreal, so you can really build off that. Which I goes back to my thing about Unreal. But so I wasn't so hard on it. Like I have been through much worse this weekend, I think.
The fatal influence page and Bree. You know what? I'm willing to meet you halfway. I'll give it 2 stars.
That's where I'm going.
Yeah, 2 stars. 2 stars seems a bit more fair for putting their bodies on the line the way they did, and it got us the right results. So I have to give it some credit for that as well. We got Adrian Carpenter, thank you so much in the chat. I see you commenting, sir. He says, I seen WWE Marks saying that was the match of the year worthy. The glaze and sliding scale people put WWE is sickening. You don't do that, SP3. That's why I watch THH. Glad to have you, Adrian. You're one of the good ones. We got Escudero in the chat. Thank you once again for joining us, good sir. You let us know yesterday you haven't been watching, but you're watching through us. That's what we're here for. He says, just here to show support, even if I don't watch WWE.
Shit, I appreciate it even more than.
All I can ask for.
We're here to take these bullets for you, bro. Don't worry about that.
Alan Banky with a super chat donation saying, happy to see my boy KO is back. SmackDown needed him bad now. It's time for him to put that old man Punk out and take the WWE title for his boy Sami. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm interested on when they pull the trigger on the Punk Owens matchup. Do you think that's Money in the Bank?
I guess they're gonna get rid of it immediately, which kind of like I was really happy that he got the win, but then I started thinking like, is he just gonna lose and just gonna move on? Like it just gets screwed over by Sami Zayn or whatever, and then that's the end of that. And so that's gonna sting a little bit, but I do think it's just gonna be at the next whatever PLE, I guess Money in the Bank. He's certainly not gonna be in a fucking ladder match. I hope.
I hope it's not gonna be a Saturday night's main event.
Sunday, do we have one?
Sunday night's main event.
Oh yeah, my God. Atlanta. That's like the one that they're doing for. Oh my God! They actually will put that shit on because it's the same kind of audience.
No. That's not the one that's going head to head with
Okay.
All In. That's the one
Okay,
that's
okay.
going the Sunday night main event. I think it's September 6th, if I'm not mistaken.
Isn't that going up against something though?
No. That's
Okay.
probably they schedule it that date because that's when AEW used to run All Out.
That's right. They probably thought an All Out was gonna happen. Stupid.
Yeah. And now this would just be obvious if they did that. If they wait to do Punk and KO at Worlds Collide Chicago, that's just them. That's them being petty. That's just petty.
It's just small, but I mean, it's WWE. You know, I wouldn't be that surprised.
Petty is the kind of their middle name, you know. We got Annika who says it's honestly a Mania match, but yeah, I agree. I think Kevin Owens and CM Punk are two of the best talkers and characters in WWE. They can deliver a WrestleMania worthy feud, but gotta just deal with it at Sunday night's main event.
If they had balls, they would just strap Kevin Owens immediately.
I agree. I really feel like WWE in general needs a refresh, but definitely SmackDown title picture. Even though Punk just won the title.
Oh yeah, but what the fuck does CM Punk need a year-long title reign? Get his old ass out of here. It'd be the ultimate revenge for the T-shirt incident in Ring of Honor.
There we go. Just don't wear a T-shirt. Fuck you guys. There we go.
In a shirt, bitch.
Then we had the match that many people were dreading on this show. Dominik Mysterio going one-on-one with Danhausen in a human monies on a pole match. There was a bag of money hanging from a pole in one of the corners. Before the match started, Dominik showed that he could touch the bag from the middle rope. Danhausen avoided a 619 early and then caught Dominik with a Northern Lights suplex. Danhausen missed a charge in the corner. Mysterio floored him with a clothesline. He hits the three amigos, and then he starts climbing. You get Danhausen who cuts him off. Eventually, Danhausen drops Dom with the triple D, the Danhausen death drop, and then he goes to climb. JD McDonough then runs in to cut him off. The Mini-Hausens then emerge to attack McDonough. One of them is Torito Hausen, and he starts running off some offense. The Mini-Hausens tried to basically create their own ladder using their own bodies to get free. But we get JD who fights back against the Mini-Hausens. He starts destroying these little dudes. He hits one with a spine buster. He hits another with a choke slam where it looked like he hit the back of his head hard on the mat before Torito Hausen starts laying him out. He hits a beautiful looking tope where he does a flip tope to the outside, taking JD out. Torito Hausen sends Mysterio to the floor with a Hurricane Rana. Then he followed up with a dive. We get Danhausen who tries to go for the money yet again, but McDonough cuts him off with his bison-like headbutt. Then as JD is trying to get Dom to climb to get the money, we hear the music of Joe Hendry hits. Out come Hendry. JD mixes a clothesline on him on the ramp, and then Hendry takes him out with a guitar. Danhausen and Mysterio are trying to both climb at the same time. You get Mysterio who crouches Danhausen on the top rope and was about to grab the monies. But then we get Danhausen who uses his curse to set off the firework in the corner. Dominik falls to his death. Danhausen climbs. He grabs the money and he wins the human monies on a pole match. A quarter star. Your thoughts?
I don't even know if I want to rate this as like a match. Like I don't know if I'm gonna call it a dud, but I certainly don't want to give it stars. Like
fucking Dom looked checked the fuck out of this one. Dom was like so lethargic in this one.
But what would he have like? I don't even know how you fire yourself up for this. Like, what am I fired up to do? You know, like, yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It's checked out for good reason, but he was definitely checked the fuck out. And then you like with this type of match, it's a human monies on a pole matchup. You literally have to go 100%. You have to go completely over the top to make this work. And it felt like they just dipped their toes in the water of going overboard. This was not as overboard as it could have been. For all the faults, and I did not enjoy the Backlash tag team matchup. At least that committed to the bit. This did not.
Yeah, they. I guess that's true. I'm already not into it, so I was just like listening to see if the crowd was into it, and I mean they weren't really like they weren't really. It wasn't that much. It wasn't that much going on. It was a pedestrian ass match. The mini housings thing is. It was funny when it was new because like where did they come from? Oh my god, it's so random. But they're like part of the act now. Like they're like WWE employees and shit. It's just a match. It's just a Danhausen. And then he does. That's the thing. It wasn't even that they didn't go far enough. They didn't do nothing new. Nothing here was new. The mini housings, Joe Hendry, you are cursed, and it's just a corner pyro again, but it missed, and Danhausen sold it anyway, and it was funny the first time. You know, this is the sixth time, and I'm not laughing anymore. It's annoying. I would appreciate if you shut up. You know, like, but I guess I will go dud.
Yeah. I was trying to be generous with the quarter star, but this is a dud. This is as bad as Paige and the Bellas versus Fatal Influence. This is one of the worst matches of the year as well.
This is rough. At least those midgets. Is that the right word? I don't know what the fuck I'm
little
supposed
people.
to call it.
Little
is
people.
That feels worse. What?
I think they prefer little people because that's what they are. They're little and they're people.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly are little people. It feels dismissive, but fine. Little people. The little people. They weren't enough. None of this was enough. Joe Hendry they're all part of the thing now. We've seen this. You were just singing on Monday. You know, you just got hit over the head with a guitar by a racist or something. That happened. That's probably more interesting than what happened on fucking the pay-per-view.
Yeah, this is a fact by John Kelly here in the chat. Danhausen is overexposed now. Like they have definitely went too far in the Danhausen wheelhouse, and I don't know if they know how to rein it back a bit now.
I don't even know what you do. You know what? That's why I know there was a personal reasons why Danhausen didn't get booked in AEW, but also you kind of avoid the trap of having to deal with that if you don't like come on, because you do it once, you do it twice. It was what it reminds me of Abaddon. Remember Abaddon? AEW had Abaddon, and it was like we would bring her out on Halloween, you know, because we don't know what else to do. Like, what the fuck? When else does this work? The Danhausen thing was, you know, he fell into the Knicks, so he kind of extended his run a little bit, but
yeah,
it ends with you are cursed. So, and I think this guy, I don't know Danhausen's real name, but I feel like if he wasn't in WWE, he might be able to come up with some more unique stuff. I don't think he'd be using the mini people over and over and over again. I don't think it's the same clone machine over and over and over again. He feels like he's probably creative enough to come up with different things. So if they let him think a little bit, if they give him a little rope to come up with things, I bet he would come up with some things that wouldn't feel so fucking boring and done.
I agree. There are ways to keep the act going without just running the same play over and over and over again, and that's what they're doing with Danhausen right now. And it's only so many times it's gonna be funny or it's gonna work to the highest extent.
I just always think about Orange Cassidy because I was for sure, I was certain that Orange Cassidy was the same thing. Like, okay,
no, I knew because I was me and shout outs to my friend Jen. we used to go to like independent shows in 2018, 2019, and we were like the Orange Cassidy fan club because we knew we was like, this is a cool gimmick that can work, but he also can work. He can work his ass off. He puts his hand in their pockets, and he would steal the show at every Evolve show in Queens. If it was a WrestleCon in New York City, he stole the show there as well. So I knew he had the chops to continue on, and they would highlight the character, but they would focus more on the wrestling ability. This is the opposite of that. They highlight the wrestling sometimes, but they are really focusing on the character and on the shtick, on the gimmick more than anything.
But I'm more thinking of like the story possibilities when it comes to a creature like Danhausen. And when Orange Cassidy first showed up, I was like, where does this pockets thing go? And they ended up they developed a whole ass story that went for years, and I was like, wow, I've never seen something like that in wrestling before. I'm sure that you could come up with something for Danhausen that isn't the same shit every fucking week, but that's not how these people work. I don't think their priority is the storytelling. I swear, I don't think that storytelling comes first. They say it does, but I don't think it does. I think storytelling is sacrificed for merchandising. And I think that they sometimes are like, we could do something interesting, but when he says, you are cursing, points at the corner, we could sell more t-shirts. So like, fuck him. You know, like, fuck him.
Fuck all that.
The council is dry. And
that's basically what they're telling us. Like, fuck all that hard work and stuff. We don't need to do any of that shit. All right, so I did see this comment. What was it? Oh yeah, the super chat donation from our good friend Escudero once again. Thank you so much. He says that 3-match stretch looks rough on Cage Match. Thank you for the super chat. And it is, because Baron Corbin versus Trick Williams, 3.75 out of 10.
That's generous.
3.75 out of 10. The interim WWE Women's Title ladder match, 5.42 out of 10.
Fellow chaos enjoyers, Cage Match.
And I think it's fellow Chelsea Green supporters. Chelsea,
I Cage Match. Chelsea Green.
I've seen a lot online of people that are saying that this match was good, fun, great, because they enjoy the finish, because they enjoy who won.
I guess that'll really paint the way you see a match. I mean, I didn't think it was great. I just had fun watching them kill each other.
And then Danhausen versus Dominik Mysterio, 1.43 out of 10. I'm fairly certain that is actually lower than the Fatal Influence versus Paige and Brie matchup. Yeah, Fatal Influence versus Paige and Brie, 3.52 out of 10.
I think that fucking that girls match was worse than Danhausen versus Dom, but because Danhausen versus Dom is they wanted it to be that. Like, you can't tell me they wanted that fucking 6-woman match to be that. Like, no way.
You couldn't tell me that. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me, fam. But yeah, that's the cage match ratings for what was objectively the worst stretch of this show. Then we get Power Driver Finisher, who says, because WWE don't know how to be entertaining, AEW used the conglomeration properly with the goofy parts in that cage match. And then we also got here, there was another comment I wanted to highlight.
Actually, a quick interruption for a second. Yeah. It's confirmed Brie Bella has a broken scapula. I don't even know what that is, bro. It sounds painful.
Yeah, that sounds like she's gonna be out for a long time.
Oh gosh. But yeah, she's out here.
She's gone. We also got Annika, who says, "What are we doing with Dom though? Wasn't it this time last year we were pushing him to have a heavyweight title match? This time last year he was beating John Cena as one in his last PLE matchup. This year, he's jobbing to Danhausen.
That's your
WWE.
AAA Mega Campeon right there. Taking that nice
WWE
pin.
pushing
Or
this young
not a
talent.
pin, I guess. Because he didn't get pinned, it's fine.
Yeah. Adrian Carpenter saying, I'm glad that Danhausen isn't in AEW anymore. I don't care how popular or how much merch he sells. He's trash. Excuse me. His act and storylines insult your intelligence. Orange Cassidy doesn't insult my mind. We got
Jim Cornette.
We got Dion who says WWE and running axe into the ground, handshake emoji. We got Alan who says WWE should only bring out Danhausen during Halloween time. He basically said, just Abaddon him. We also got another super chat donation, or a few more. Yeah, we got Alan.
Shit.
We got Alan who says, happy Chelsea Green won the title. Now she'll lose it to Rhea. Laughing emoji. Thank you so much, Alan.
That's a weird match that they're setting up there. The unification match is Rhea Ripley versus Chelsea Green. Okay, Chelsea.
I think there's only one or two options that makes this interesting, because it feels like it's a foregone conclusion that Rhea wins that very easily. But I feel like more interesting is Chelsea beating her, pulling off the upset to beat her. I think that would be cool. That'd be cool. That would legitimize her. I think the most likely scenario is that they do it at Money in the Bank, and then they have JC Jane win the Money in the Bank, and she cashes in on the unification. That would be what I would do.
That works. You give. I would give it to Chelsea because it's funny though, which is not always a good business decision, but it makes me laugh. You see, so I would like her to win the title.
I would like this very much, actually. I would like this very much. Sound like that one scene in The Bear where the guy gives the Frack brothers money for an investment just to see how bad it turns out. He's like, I just want you to tell me how it turns out. Just give me updates. Lab Glass with a super chat donation. Thank you so much. He says, I'm just here so I don't get fined. Thank you so much, Lab Glass. And then finally, we got our good friend, once again, Alan Banky, who says, did y'all talk about what Paul said on Saturday night about why people like Braun, Mello, and Javon weren't booked is because they are not as over as with fans like Cody, Punk, and Roman? Yes, we did. We talked all about the Triple H quote because that is the best quote he could have possibly. I need Triple H to give me quotes like this every big show, please.
Just foolish. The most foolish bullshit. It's complete bullshit.
And he actually believes that nonsense. That's what makes it great. We got here in the chat. We got Vincent. Oh, yes. Vincent Moore, who says Danhausen gimmick is over. Kill now. They just want to sell Danhausen masks. They want to sell more than Danhausen masks. They want to sell real human monies.
For real money. So you trade your real money for Danhausen money that you can't spend. It's like it's worse than Robux. At least you can spend Robux.
It's the Ush bucks. When Usher had the bucks when he was doing the performances and shit. After the matchup, I did mention that Danhausen gave out the money that was in the bag. And yes, it was the fucking Danhausen human monies mixed with $1 bills.
So cheap. Remember Donald Trump's WWE Raw where they made it rain money? That was so weird. But it was real. It was like $20 bills and shit. It was like $100 bills.
It was legit money. That was good. That was a good time. Live Glass saying that's the WWE way, same thing over and over, whether it's a story or match moves. That's why they don't know what to do with luchadors or indie wrestlers who have more than 10 moves.
Yeah, they're not interested in doing wrestling. It's not their thing. The wrestling is just a means to an end.
Yeah. We also got Adrian, who says, after hearing and listening to Triple H post interview, it's crazy how he blaming the superstars for not getting over when the storylines have been bad and not the wrestler's fault. It's Triple H way. It's everyone's fault but mine.
Well, he's always been that way. He's a master politician, you got to remember, and it's no longer about the wrestlers. Like, he's got to protect his own job from TKO, so he's got to make things sound like it's not his fault. You know, man, these wrestlers. You know, but I don't know if you guys realize this, but I don't know what bank it was, but they did a valuation of TKO, and WWE's creative was mentioned as like a concern, which never happened before.
What?
Like,
on where? On where?
I can't remember what fucking bank it was, but there was a valuation done of this company, and it wasn't mentioned as something that's affecting financials, but it was mentioned as a thing to look at. You know, like the fan dissatisfaction with WWE creative, and I was like, huh. That's interesting. Something to think
look
about.
at that.
And so, yeah, I mean, and then the report, it might have been. I'm sorry, I smoked too much weed. The smaller details have to get Googled when I'm doing news reports. The creative has never been in that kind of situation before. You know, like, it's like, you know, whatever Vince wanted was just the way things went. It was never been measured against financials that way. Like, it's a whole new world for Triple H, bro. His job depends on you smiling now. And it wasn't before. Vince, it just depended on making Vince smile. Now he has to make all of you smile. I do wonder how long before they get rid of him. Sometimes. Not saying that his job is on the line now, but I just think, like, there's a world where they get rid of him. That's crazy.
I think there is, and I think that is closer than people think it is. But we get Rick Martel is here. That Pop Me, the model, is here in Minneapolis. The Killer Bees, even wearing their masks before taking them off, are here. Molly Holly, who got a nice pop because she had a I Love Minnesota sign with her.
She was smarter than all the other ones. She's not watching how to do that shit.
And Greg Gagne, who got no reaction whatsoever.
Oh, just like the AWA.
Pretty much. Good point. Next, we get Chad Gable challenging Penta for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Gable comes out to his new theme song, and he's leading the crowd in some overhead slapping and clapping. They didn't do the skull chant, though. Fuck Minnesota. God damn it.
I don't even, like, I get that there is a real thing that people do the clap for, but I don't think that it's ever going to work for Chad Gable. Ever. No. And this song sucks.
And I'm halfway to the
like,
sky.
It sounds like you put in AI. Please create something that a Southern Bible Belt Trump supporter would totally rock out to.
It's play my favorite dad rock. Dad rock from the 80s.
It's granddad rock at this point.
Gable trips up Penta in the early going of the matchup, and he immediately goes for the ankle lock. We get Penta, who escapes. He hits a step up Hurricane Rana. Gable responds with a Russian leg sweep, but Penta comes back with the super kick. Gable goes for crossbody, but Penta reverses that into a backbreaker. We get Gable, who goes for the ankle lock yet again, but Penta kicked Gable to the floor, and Penta followed up with a tope con hilo. You get Gable, who tries for a moonsault at one point, but Penta's able to catch him in midair with a super kick in the ring. He then catches him with a Penta driver and gets a near fall. Penta then catches Gable yet again with another super kick, but then he charged and he went right into an overhead belly-to-belly suplex in the corner. Gable dove off the top rope right into Penta's arm snapshot. It looked very contrived, the sacrifice. Gable started to bleed a bit from his forehead. Penta goes for the Mexican Destroyer, but Gable reverses that into the ankle lock. Gable caught Penta with a hanging armbar, and then Penta tried for a Destroyer on the apron, but Gable is able to counter that, and he hits a German suplex onto the apron. We get Gable, who follows up with a moonsault off the top rope to the floor. Back in the ring, we get Gable off the top rope with a headbutt, but he tweaks his shoulder on the landing. Gable goes for a superplex, but Penta breaks free with a headbutt. He comes off the middle rope and he hits a Mexican Destroyer on the apron. We get Penta, who tried for another Destroyer in the ring, but Gable was able to flip right into the ankle lock. The crowd chanted for Penta to tap. Penta frantically gets to the ropes, but Gable pulls him back out, and then grapevines the leg. Penta tries to survive, but as soon as the leg is grapevine, he immediately taps out for the victory for Gable. Gable is your new WWE Intercontinental Champion, the title that he's been chasing for well over 3 years now. And post-match, you really got to see how important this win was to me, how much it meant to Gable, and how much it really was important to his career and a milestone. We get Penta, who puts the Intercontinental Championship around Gable's waist and then raises his hand. He leaves the ring to Gable. Gable's parents and family come into the ring to celebrate. He hugs his daughters and his son. He hugs his wife, his mom, his dad. He introduces the crowd to himself as the new Intercontinental Champion. Such a great and special moment. And I love the fact that the promo that he did was basically like a babyface version of the Noche de los Grandes speech that he gave after he unmasked as un grande Americano. And then WWE ruined it by having a guy in a fake dog mask to promote mug root beer come out and give Gable root beer to chug. WWE knows how to ruin the most wholesome of moments. What did you think about Gable and Penta? I agree with you. What you said earlier, it was just way too short. I think if it gets 5 more minutes, it's definitely like a 4-star plus matchup. But at 11 minutes, I'll give it 3 3/4.
It felt like it was incomplete. It felt like it ended before it was over. I was certain Penta was going to break out of that ankle lock. I was like, all right, we still got some time. And he just tapped out. And I was like, this is definitely a WWE show. So he taps. I was like, fine. They basically referenced the end of Noche de los Grandes with Max Caster. I'm reading the fucking news. With Chad Gable saying my name is Chad Gable, and I'm from here. I was like, I don't know, it belongs to the mask versus mask, but okay, it's fine. It is what it is. The Bulldog was crazy. It didn't even look like Chad Gable knew. He was confused. Like, what? What do you want me to do with this? Drink it? I don't drink carbs. As he just kind of throws it over himself, like whatever, But good match, great moment. It's got the kids in the ring after they were the ones, they were disappointed that Dad didn't get to win in person a couple years ago in the crowd. So that comes full circle. It's great. It was just great. But that fucking root beer shit is unforgivable, man. That mug root beer mascot it was absurd. That they would do something like that. Like, it was like a parody of WWE. That's like something you make fun of. Like, Family Guy would do that. Like, I can't believe that actually happened. I thought this was a Minnesota thing. I was like, oh man, they must really like root beer in Minnesota. That's crazy. And I looked it up. I had to Google like root beer Minnesota.
He's like, nothing came up, guys. I don't know what's going on.
There was a long time ago, or not a long time ago, like 20 years ago, there was a version of Star Wars that aired on Chilean television, and they didn't have time to do ad breaks. So they actually edited ads into the film with like the actual film. So it felt like it was seamless. It's not seamless at all. It's completely insane. But that was their decision. And this felt exactly like that. Like, Chad, you just won. It wasn't even like, honestly, if the dog would have done like the post-match interview, it might have worked. You know, like, it might have fit more. Like, and this
if he gave the whole family the root beer, that would have been better.
This is the mug root beer post-match interview. Like, you know what? That would have been less intrusive than him just showing up. He just popped up on the table like he was about to throw that motherfucker Chad Gable over the top rope.
And then fucking Michael Cole reading the ad read. He's got that dog in him.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's rough. This is rough. And I know Pedro said, no, this is a TKO thing. Not Minnesota, but fuck TKO for this.
He said, I'm sick of y'all, basically. Timmy asking us, just joined. He says, did y'all mention the Lucha Bros reunited Friday night in the dark match? I think someone mentioned that on our flagship podcast on Saturday, Timmy. But yeah, I don't really care all that much. But it does lead to a question. Now that Penta lost the Intercontinental title, do you think that WWE might go in the route of reuniting the Lucha Bros on TV?
I think it's sooner. I think it's coming sooner now than it was when he did have the belt. I don't know if it'll happen immediately, but as far as like the dark match reunion, if they don't count it, I don't count it.
Exactly. We don't talk a lot about like dark match stuff because it does not matter to WWE, so it shouldn't matter to any of the fans. And plus, the Lucha Bros were supposed to reunite in AAA last year until I think Penta got hurt. So, yeah. Oh. King Greg saying, King Davion saying, I thought the dog mascot was fitting to attack Gable. I really did think it was a wrestler. That the wrestler was going to attack him. They were going to ruin his moment completely. They only slightly ruined it with the dog.
I don't even think I had time to really think that it was going to be another wrestler because I was just like, just trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Why?
Like, why would you do this? Chuck Berry saying, so who becomes the first to face Gable for the title, or do they run it back with Penta? I could see them running it back with Penta. Honestly, as far as who's going to be the first challenger for Gable, I could see it being Ethan Page. What do you think, John?
Yeah, no, I was just trying to get my daughter out from the radius of my microphone. As far as who's they gonna run, who are they gonna run Gable against? Probably do a Penta rematch, probably tonight. Fuck around, that's how they do things sometimes. But I don't think he's gonna have a program with Penta. I think probably, if anything, they should. Not should, because if it was up to me, I would just kill this whole Vision Alpha Academy thing. But they killed Otis, and he's probably not going to be happy about that, or he'll probably get himself involved in there. Honestly, I don't even think he's going to get right into a regular Intercontinental Championship feud. But if it was me, I would fix this to somehow end up in a Chad Gable single situation with one of those Vision guys just to get that story going. But yeah,
give me Gable versus Breakker. I'll be down for that.
Gable versus Breakker. I was saying that, but I was like, damn, I don't really want Breakker to be losing these fucking titles.
I don't. I'll be honest. I don't care anymore. They don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah, at this point, it doesn't matter.
It don't matter no more. It don't matter no more. I don't know why we still stressing it. It don't matter to them. Why should it matter to us? And Vince saying he thinks that WWE needs to revive the tag team scene. They do, but I don't think WWE thinks they do.
They fired the fucking Motor City Machine Guns. I don't think they care.
That is not what we're interested in right now. Do you have any money? That is what we're
running Haku.
There you go. Hey, they added Haku to the MFTs. And then finally, we are at the main event. If you haven't already, drop a thumbs up on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you are new to True Hill Heat Wrestling YouTube channel. We are here every single week with live streams for Monday Night Raw review, for AEW Dynamite review, and our flagship podcast every Saturday, 10:05 a.m. Eastern Time. But we also do preview and reviews for every major wrestling event, whether it be WWE, AEW, TNA, New Japan Pro Wrestling. We also do tournaments for New Japan as well, and we'll also dip in some AAA, some CMLL, some Stardom previews and reviews as well. So hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here, and you'll see more content from myself and John to come. But it is time to talk about the main event of SummerSlam weekend. The final match of the weekend in Minneapolis was for the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth freaking Rollins challenges Roman Reigns. NFL Vikings receiver Justin Jefferson hyped up the crowd for the main event. Seth comes out, and he comes out with the Shield intro. You know the deal. Sierra, Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield. And then it transfers into the Burn It Down theme. As soon as Seth's music ends, the crowd began chanting OTC, OTC, OTC. Seth had his old Shield mask of it to get into Roman's head. On in the early going, then we get Roman coming out, and he comes out to a huge ovation from the Minneapolis crowd. He gets his usual big reaction, as then we get the intros, and each man gets a huge pop upon their introduction. The bell rings, and we got Seth, who's offering the mask to play some more mind games with Roman. They go face to face, and they lock up. Roman gets stuck with Seth grabbing him into a headlock, but Roman shrugs it off. Rollins then caught Reigns with a sling blade. Rollins then backed Reigns into the corner and pounded away at the champion until Reigns shrugged it off and hits a clothesline. Rollins catches Reigns with a kick to the knee and a super kick. The story of the early going of this matchup is that when it comes to wrestling, Rollins is the better of the two and just had a counter or reversal for anything that Roman threw at him. Roman goes and hits a flying lariat and then hammered Seth with clotheslines in the corner. Reigns booted Rollins down and then signals for the Superman punch, but Rollins countered it with a punch and then into a rolling forearm, sending Reigns to the floor. Rollins follows up with a series of dives. He dives and he sends Roman into the barricade as well as the Spanish announce table. Rollins then started to clear off the Spanish announce table. As Rollins tried for another dive, you get Roman, who catches him with a right hand. He then follows up with a drive-by kick. Roman then clotheslined Seth over the barricade so they could fight in the crowd. We get Rollins, who took control during the walk-in brawl. Rollins hit Reigns with a stationary, and then Reigns came back with a suplex on the floor. We get Reigns, who charged at Seth with a spear, but Seth kicked him in the head. Rollins followed up by kneeing Reigns in the head after a springboard off the barricade. Rollins goes for a spear, but Reigns catches him and he locks him into his guillotine. Reigns powered up. He tries to basically choke out Seth, but Seth is able to fight his way out of it. Seth is able to push him out to the floor, where Reigns reverses things and he gets Rollins up and then down and out, laying him out onto the Spanish announce table. Roman then mocked Seth for playing high school football and called him number 2 before clearing off Cole and Barrett's commentary table. He goes for a second powerbomb, but Rollins is able to counter, and he powerbombs Reigns through the second announce table, basically evening up things here. The ref started counting both men. They get to 9, and Roman is one step slower, but he slays inside the ring. Rollins catches him with a pedigree and gets a near fall. The crowd start chanting, "This is awesome." Rollins sets up for a stomp, but Reigns cuts him off with a Superman punch. He looks to take advantage and take control of the matchup from there as he looks for the spear, but Rollins is ready for it and he's well prepared. We get Rollins who catches Reigns with a curb stomp after that, and he gets a very close near fall. Rollins sets up Reigns on the top turnbuckle. Seth slowly climbed up for a superplex, but Roman headbutted him. Seth popped right back up. He gets up to the top rope and he connects with the superplex. When he tries to follow up with the Falcon Harrow, Roman reverses things and he gets him back into the guillotine. Roman pulled Rollins down with the body scissors, but then Rollins fought up. He tries for a suplex, but Roman slid out and he hits the spear. Roman gets the cover, but he only gets 2. Roman starts arguing with himself about what was the 3, who was the 1, who was the 2. Roman's charged for another spear, but Seth was ready for him, and he hits Roman with the spear. He gets a near fall. Now Seth starts talking about having Roman's number and how he owned Roman's ass. Rollins gave Roman a buckle bomb and he goes for the curb stomp, but Reigns is able to recover. We get Reigns who's able to hit a curb stomp of his a buckle bomb of his own, and then he follows up with a curb stomp of his own. He hits it, he goes for the cover, but he's only able to get a 2 count of his own. We get both men getting up. They start battling at it. We start throwing bombs, throwing punches. We get the boos and the yays for both men. Seth caught the referee with a shot. Then we get a moment where both men want to pay tribute to the third Shield member. With the referee somewhat down, we get Rollins who gets punched back to the ropes, and he hits the wacky line, the rebound lariat that Dean Ambrose used to use during his time in WWE. You get Cole who shouted out Dean Ambrose. Rollins goes for the paradigm shift, but Reigns is able to counter into the dirty deeds himself. Reigns goes for a spear, but Rollins ducks, and Reigns winds up hitting the referee instead. Rollins stomped the referee for good measure, which I was like, that was unnecessary, but okay. Then the referee dropped to the floor, and Rollins drops to the floor as well, and he grabs a steel chair. Reigns gets turned around and hits Rollins as Rollins was aiming to hit him with the Shield chair shot. He saw his back and he got so turned on, John. He was like, oh man, it's time for Shield lore. He grabs the chair, but then he thinks otherwise. It looks like he's about to throw down the chair, but Reigns catches him with the right hand. Then Rollins is down. We get Rollins who gets into the position, and now Reigns gets the steel chair. It looks like Reigns is going to get his redemption for 2014. But finally, like a grown-ass man, Roman finally lets that shit go. He drops the steel chair and he looks at Rollins. We get a very tense stare down between the longtime rivals and former Shield brethren as he says that he wants to do it one-on-one. He told him earlier in the matchup when Rollins said, who are you going to call on? You going to get the bloodline? He said, it's you and me. It's always been you and me. Then we get the battle. They start throwing hands. Rollins starts slapping Reigns, who came back with some headbutts. Rollins starts getting in some Kawada kicks. He gets a super kick, and then Reigns rebounded off of the ropes and hits the Superman punch. Reigns tries for a spear, but Rollins catches him in midair with the pedigree. He hits the stomp. Then Rollins came off the top rope, goes for another stomp, but Roman moves out the way. He hits one spear. He comes off the ropes. He hits a second spear. He comes off for the supercharge, multiple runoff spear. Third one of the matchup, third straight of the match. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns has finally beaten Seth Rollins in a high-profile matchup, retaining the World Heavyweight Championship. I thought this was an excellent matchup. My one nitpick to it is that they were so fucking slow. This match goes 33 and a half minutes. And I really feel that if they had a more moderately faster pace, you could have done the same job and told the same story in 20 to 25 minutes and not 33. That's my one big nitpick. But I thought that Roman Reigns was on top of his game. His facial expressions, the trash talking, the way that he paces his matchups. That works for him and him only. I think that if Seth Rollins worked this style of matchup with anyone else, it falls flat on his face. This worked, and it had the crowd from the very beginning. Unlike the Cody Rhodes and CM Punk matchup, where the crowd sat on their hands and sat in silence for 20 to 25 minutes, this crowd was engaged and into every single moment and big move in the matchup, every single near fall, every single emotion in the matchup, from the bell opening to the bell closing. And that is the art of what makes Roman Reigns the number one guy in this company, and what makes Seth Rollins one of the best in-ring performers in the company. They told a brilliant story and delivered the best match of the entire weekend for me. I give it 4.5 stars. Post-match, you get Michael Cole, who declared that after the matchup, Roman had finally tied up all loose ends. Seth and Roman sat in opposite corners and stared across the ring at one another. Then Roman slowly made his way to center ring. He then gave Seth the signal, the sign, and he does the Shield fist bump. After a moment, Seth got up to his feet. He grabbed the Shield mask that he came to the ring with. He laid the Shield mask in the middle of both men, and he returned the fist bump as we get Roman and Seth standing tall to close the show, with the Shield standing tall. They have been here from the start. They never left. They are the two men that have built the foundation of what WWE is today, and they deserved this moment. Even better than that, we get a Roman Reigns promo on the post show. Roman Reigns goes ham on the post show, saying that it was always me and Seth. He was like, you had all these other guys, everybody else left, everybody else was unhappy. Everybody else wanted to do their own thing. We're the guys that left. We're the guys that built this place. He was like, even when we were in the Shield, we always knew that Ambrose, he was a wild hair. We knew we would be the guys that would change this place. And that's exactly what we have done. And that's exactly why we were in this position tonight. What did you think about Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, SummerSlam Night 2 main event?
I really liked it. I thought as far as SummerSlam main events go, it definitely was the best one. Probably one of the best, probably the best WWE match of the weekend for sure. They told a fucking incredible story out there. I'm not gonna lie. I know the meme is the Shield chair and the Shield lore, but if they're gonna do it to end it, then fucking hell yeah, then let's do it.
Yeah,
it was interesting the way Roman and Seth were, in the beginning of the match, Michael Cole had said something on commentary where he was the first to bring up like, oh, these are the two pioneers. They never left WWE. They stuck around. And I was like, huh, the interesting choice of words. During the match, though, and after the match, Seth and Roman absolutely paid homage to Mox. Like they weren't, like they didn't seem to have the same energy that Michael Cole and whoever called for him to say that had. So like they did the wacky line. I'm not calling it the fucking wacky line. It's the rebound lariat. And then they did the paradigm shift. So that stuff was cool. Towards the end, Seth, I saw production throw Seth the Moxley mask, which I hadn't actually connected it to Moxley. I just thought it was Shield. But it was like by the end of the show, I could tell what it was meant to represent. So I'm like, since production threw him the mask, I knew that production knew that they were intending to pay homage. So I thought it was interesting that they were also told to kind of get that line. And so the thing about Roman, though, post-match, and I know some people kind of put two things that he said together to mean one thing. And I was like, but those are two things he's saying. Like, he did the they did the fist bump, boom. They put the mask in the middle. The mask is John Mox, mask is Dean Ambrose, Roman and Seth on either side. So they did that. That was fun. he comes out and he says the thing about, me and Seth, we've been doing this since, the Red Rooster was screaming at us. And we always knew Moxley was a wild hair, so we were going to have to be the ones to change it. We never left this company or whatever. And I was like, well, first I said on my social media, like, I always think it's funny how much emphasis they put on you have to stay here. You have to stay here to have a legacy. So that's always fun. Because in reality, for me, it's much more interesting to see Jon Moxley's 6 world championships across AEW, New Japan, WWE than it is to see 6 WWE championships. Like, the machine chose you 6 times. Whoop-de-doo,
Yeah.
But
you lost it 6 times. Congrats.
Yeah, right? But as far as Roman's promo, I was like, he's talking about Cody and Punk. Like, he's straight up talking about the other guy. Like, I'm still the guy. Like, we never left. We've been here. They went out, they did what they did. And sure, you can say it describes Moxley, but I felt like based on what they had done in the match and the way they kind of treated him and in the story that they just told, it didn't make sense that he would be shitting on him at the same time.
And also Roman has been very consistent in the fact of he doesn't really drag those who leave and stay left. He drags those who leave and come back and expect to be on his level. He has been so consistent on that. He has been talking trash about Punk and Cody doing that for years now.
Yeah, and I felt like, well, I don't know. I had always got the vibe that Seth and Mox probably got along a little more than Roman and the others. And then he comes across like the guy.
I think Mox and Roman are the closest, honestly, in the show.
Maybe. I just always got a feeling it was the other way around.
I think there's like actual interviews with both individually Roman and individually Mox when the Shield was going down. Mox and Roman were the closest. Not Seth was always viewed as the guy that would basically do whatever he needs to succeed afterwards. The ones that really got close during that time was Mox and Roman.
Well, that's cool actually. But my point was that I didn't see that they would take those kind of shots. But it was interesting that WWE kind of was like WWE was, but they weren't. Like, that was so weird. It's like schizophrenic about Jon Moxley. So that was a weird energy. But ultimately, it was a great match. They ended the story of the Shield. Finally, it's over forever. And that doesn't mean maybe that they claim they won't have any more matches. I mean, and maybe that's possible, but for sure the story of the Shield is done. And I don't know. I don't think it was an all-time wrestling match. But as far as like the way WWE works and how they film their moments and shit, I think that's gonna be one of the all-time moments. Like the Shield brothers.
What people have to realize is that in WWE, sad to say for like us fans who are fans of like an AEW, a New Japan Pro Wrestling, a CMLL, WWE has a 4.5-star matchup. That's an all-timer. Yeah. That's the difference. That's the difference between the companies that I just mentioned and WWE. They can have a great matchup, but that great matchup is like remembered in rarefied air. Like for me personally, and this might offend some people, so I'm giving y'all fair warning. Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon in the first ever ladder match at WrestleMania 10 is a 4.5-star matchup if I ever saw one. Yet it got 5 stars in 1994, and it's remembered as one of the all-time greats. That is what happens in WWE. WWE can give you a great matchup, and the fans or critics or people that enjoy the work of those individual people will elevate it to all-timer status and like one of the greatest matches ever.
Yeah, and even in something that Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon have that these guys don't, is that they were at least the first people to do some things in that match. Yeah. Like, shit, we can use the ladder, like that? What the fuck? I've been trying to climb the thing the whole time. He's using it as a weapon. But Roman and Seth weren't like creating new ground or nothing. Right? Like they're just telling a story, which is a great story. It's admittedly a great story that they told, but it wouldn't even it wouldn't rank as all time for me. But it was cool, man. I think for overall, the Shield, I think is one of the most, if not the most, successful faction in history. You're talking about
it's the most important faction of the last 2 decades.
But there's that. But I mean, like, as far as like a faction, and usually factions are built around a guy, and they launch a guy, and maybe we'll launch a second guy, and in the case of a few, we launched a third. But the whole faction, like all 3 guys going on to run not just WWE but like professional wrestling.
Yeah,
it's impressive in a way I've never seen before. And also, I like to think the original run, like those first 2 years, is some of WWE's like most careful booking. Like they took care of the Shield the whole time.
Because WWE, especially in that time, they were more known for ending things way earlier than they needed to. And nowadays, WWE is known for dragging shit out way longer than it needs to. This shit went a year and a half, 2 years at tops, if you want to be generous and you want to add some month. 2 years of just introducing them as like the insurance policy to Punk, and they're gonna start a feud with Ryback. And from Ryback, it'll stem to other attacks on other stars. They attack Team Hell No. Team Hell No gets involved. And then a month after they debut, they have this stellar 4.5-star matchup. I'm going to keep mentioning how 4.5-star matchups get rarefied air in this company. That debut is viewed as one of the best debuts in company history, and it set them ablaze. Like from that matchup on, they get the undefeated streak. They get the alliance with the Authority. They become the basically the henchmen for the Authority, having banger tag team and singles matches with Bryan Danielson, Team Hell No, Randy Orton, Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler, Sheamus, Randy Orton, Big Show. Did not matter what the combination was. They would have a good to great matchup with them on television or on pay-per-view. They win the U.S. title, win the tag team titles, then have that stellar program with the Rhodes family at the end of 2013. Literally, the only good thing about WWE in the end of 2013 is that rivalry. And then that segues into 2014, where they just give them the big, like, final push to make all of those guys main event stars. We're going to give you the babyface turn after WrestleMania. Then you're going to have, before WrestleMania, you're going to have this all-timer 4.5-star matchup. I'm going to keep repeating it. 4.5-star match with the Wyatt family at Elimination Chamber that is still talked about to this day. Then after WrestleMania, you're going to turn babyface. You're going to sweep the Evolution. You're going to beat them in 3 straight falls across Payback and Eliminate and Extreme Rules. And then the following night, Seth's going to turn on y'all. That's the end. Like, that is just peak. That is it. Everything they did was important, was of value. It was for a championship gold, or it was in the main event picture. And then from there, for the last 12 years, they have dominated pro wrestling. Roman Reigns has been the top guy of the biggest promotion in pro wrestling for the past 12 years. Seth Rollins, 9 times out of 10, has been either number 2, number 3, or number 4 in the company for the last 12 years. Ambrose was in the top 3 in the company for the years that he was still left, and then went to AEW and became the number 1 guy over there and helped put that company on the map. The most important, the most influential, the most successful faction of this generation, and probably ever.
Easily. And that's why it was cool to see WWE kind of give it a send off forever. You know, like, okay, finally, the story's done. The Shield chair is gone forever. You know, like, so I mean, I'm good. This was satisfying.
Yeah. This was the perfect cherry on top. I just think that they if they sped this match up a little bit, it would be perfect. It's like, this is a 33 minute matchup at like 0.5 speed. If they just get it up to a normal pacing, a normal kind of speed that they were working, I think that this is a perfect matchup. But because of the slow pace, it's not.
You know, I just expected it. Because it's Roman.
Yeah, I did too. That's why I'm not. That's my one nitpick.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna penalize the match.
Yeah. Another TNA release. It just keeps on every single week.
Who got released?
She requested her release this time. It's Jody Threat.
Ooh, damn! That's who's left in this fucking women's division.
It's just Carlos Silva in a wig like Santina.
They're gonna be like, yo, Santino, you wanna get dressed?
I'm Caroline Silva.
You wanna put that fit on? Yeah. King David, I'd say the TLC 2012 match with the Shield versus Team O'Neill. Ryback is fucking. It is. It's so good. Those Shield trios matches are like timeless matches to me.
That one in particular, I think I was at Final Battle that day, so I didn't get to see it live. But when I came home, it's just that I didn't expect, like, I was at Final Battle, they had the ladder match main event, I was all excited. I saw the pile driver on the fucking ladders, oh my god. And I came home and I'm thinking, you know, I gotta watch a fucking 2012 WWE TLC match. You know, like
and then you realize that, oh my god, that's Bryan Danielson, Tyler Black, and Dom Moxley in a TLC matchup with this
icebreaker.
Oh Jesus. Be careful, sir. Get some water. And then they like that matchup is still. I still remember like how good Roman was in that matchup. Like I feel like going into that matchup, I was like, yo, Bryan's gonna be great. He's gonna be the glue of the matchup. I know Tyler Black and Jon Moxley are great. Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, they'll still be great. Kane can be kind of an anchor or a base for a lot of the stuff in the matchup. And Ryback was at his peak at that point as far as like being a destroyer.
They announced like it's a 6-man match. It's TLC, but it's gonna have pinfalls. And I was like, this is some fucking WWE bullshit. Like, I fucking hate this company. And then they go out there and they, like you said, they absolutely fucking top tier performance from especially guys who are having their first goddamn match in the company. Like, this is your first match.
That's what I said. That the thing that catches me the most, especially if you, I think I watched it a couple of years ago too, how good Roman was. Roman, like, out of everybody in this matchup, Bryan's been in the business for God knows how long. Ryback has got a couple of years under his belt by that point. Kane has been in the company for decades. Yeah, it's the Shield's first major matchup, is their debut on the main roster, but Tyler Black's been tearing it up on the independent scene for years at that point. Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley, he's been tearing it up in CZW and stuff for years to that point. Roman Reigns, this was his first legit major matchup outside of FCW. That's why he's the most impressive in that matchup for me.
Yeah, he wasn't even, this was like his first match as Roman Reigns.
Yes, that's as Roman Reigns, yes. But yes, they delivered here. Definitely a great matchup. One that definitely stole SummerSlam weekend as far as I'm concerned. And the post-match I thought was very well done in putting the little bow on the story that they told in the ring and that they've told over the last 2 decades.
I just like, what do you do with Seth now? He kind of accepted that loss. Really, he was like, oh, fuck it. I failed.
Yeah.
Then they had this whole thing about him being reborn or whatever. So yeah, go be reborn without that belt, boy.
Maybe you can do Big Cass coming in and starting a rivalry with Seth. That would probably be if you want him to be a single star. That'll probably be the best bet for first feud.
They clearly do that. They're setting him up to be this baby face that has overcome adversity or whatever. No Enzo yet, even though if it was me, I wouldn't have announced Enzo either, just because of
me. I would just have him come out with him tonight.
Yeah, that music. Once that music hits, shit. But I don't know. Something feels off. I feel like maybe this Enzo thing didn't work out, and they just have Big Cass.
Yeah. Maybe you might be right. But we shall see. We got some thoughts on the show overall. Timmy says SummerSlam was fantastic. Sad they can only sell half of the tickets. I disagree. I disagree. I don't think it was fantastic, and I think that's why they only sold half of the tickets. But to each his own. Let us know what you thought about SummerSlam 2026, specifically about Night 2, because it is time to give our ratings on the show. Let us know your match of the night, your MVP, your LVP, your moment of the night. Whether you gave this show a thumbs up, a thumbs down, a thumbs in the middle, and out of 10, what do you give SummerSlam 2026 Night 2? For myself and John, for WWE SummerSlam 2026 Sunday in 3, 2, 1.
I give it a thumb up.
Thumbs up across the board. I was worried that we weren't going to agree, but we agreed. Thumbs up across the board. Out of 10, I'm going to give this show a 7 out of 10. What do you give it, John?
Yeah, I think that Kevin Owens return would have put me at like a guaranteed fucking, like, you get 5 off the top. So like all you got to do is build off of 5. You know, it's not hard. You don't have to go from there. So 7 out of 10. That main event though, that was a really good main event. I'll go 7.5. Why not? You get an extra 0.5.
Why not? Sometimes with WWE, we say so many times that if they can bookend the show well, they open up well and they close well, that's a good show from WWE. And I think that's the case here. All right. What was your match of the night, John?
Best match of the night is going to be that main event, Roman and Seth. Good job, big dog.
Roman and Seth easily for me was the match of the night. What was your MVP? Who was your MVP?
That MVP's Kevin Owens. It's easily. That's my boy, man. Goddamn, that pop.
That pop was lovely. And yes, I'm going to go co-MVP, actually. I'm going to give it to Kevin Owens and Chelsea Green for winning the interim WWE Women's Championship. LVP for the show, John.
I was going to give it to Danhausen, but you know what? I'm going to give it to Trick. They're about to put the money in the bank on you, man. Step it up. You step it up. You're going to end up like Sandow.
Can't have good matches, bro. They're going to have you cash in and lose. Sheesh. LVP, definitely Danhausen. Danhausen and Dom. That was one of the worst matches of the weekend and of the year.
I wonder if I was gonna say, I wonder if that makes them feel like, okay, maybe we are killing this Danhausen thing. Maybe this will be the match that makes them realize it.
Yeah, and we might be going a little too far with this one. And then moment of the night, John.
But another easy one. Got to get to that return, that fucking Kevin Owens return, man.
Kevin Owens' return easily is the moment of the night. But that is our ratings for night 2. Now we got to give overall ratings for SummerSlam weekend. So for WWE SummerSlam 2026, combined night 1 and 2 in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs in the middle from both of us. I gave a 6 out of 10 for night 1. I gave a 7 out of 10 for night 2. 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. That is a thumbs in the middle. 6.5 out of 10 for the entire SummerSlam weekend. John.
You get a 6.5 for the whole weekend too. I gave it a 5 for night 1. Then I get a 7.5. What is that? 12?
6.25.
6.25. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Sounds about right to me as well. It just wasn't as strong as a SummerSlam weekend as it needed to be or as it should have been. And honestly, if you cut out the bad matches on both nights, you have a great 6-match card.
It's the story of every single night two-night weekend. I think we actually got a request from someone in one of our latest clips from yesterday, and they wanted us to talk about WWE's decision to continue to have 2-night shows. And I'm just like, it's not it's not a it's good for them in that they have two opportunities to make money in the same weekend, but also it's hurting their sales and it's leaving stadiums half empty, and it's creating these big useless performances that could be cut off and create one really good card, and that keeps on happening. That's just a story of every single 2-night event that they have. It could have been you could have removed 3 of these matches and it would have been an excellent pay-per-view, but they're just not going to do that. I don't think they're interested in doing that at all.
No, they're only interested in the money. That's all they care about at this point, and they make it so obvious that it's not even a debate. Like, should they be doing 2-night cards for their premium live events? As far as quality goes, no. It's quite obvious, no, they should not. But it's not about the quality. It's not about putting on great matches. It's not about creating all of these great moments. It's about making as much money as humanly possible. That is WWE's goal at the end of the day. Fuck. Who cares what the fans think about it?
Certainly not them. Yeah. Before we get out of here, I thought there was a funny, while we were on here, CM Punk was on Sports Center, and someone called his match with Cody Rhodes incredible. And even he was like, I don't know if it was incredible. But
yes, thank you. Oh my God, that gave me so much joy, and I can't wait to rub it in every single fan that told me that match was great.
He even goes on to say, well, I can take that either way. It was incredibly bad, or it was so bad it was good. I don't know. But a little homage, a lot of homages tonight. This was for Terry. He said his moonsault was for Terry Funk. And I was like, that's funny. Because I know it looked like a Terry Funk moonsault, at least from the outside. But Terry used to land those things.
Exactly. Terry actually landed on his opponent, not to the side. A little left there, pal. But yes, that gave me so much joy. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, sir. But yes, we have made it to the end of our review here for SummerSlam 2026. We want to thank you so much for joining us live. Thank you so much for watching us on demand. If you haven't already, check out our SummerSlam Night 1 review with myself, John, and Josh, breaking down all the action from Minnesota for Saturday. But we have come to the end of our SummerSlam week coverage, as well as our SummerSlam Night 1 and 2 review. I want to thank you all for joining us live. Thank you all for watching us on demand. And thank you so much to John Escudero for joining me for both nights of SummerSlam coverage. The floor is yours. Let the people know where they can follow you on social media and when they might see you again.
You can definitely follow me at Dirt Sheet Radio. It says it right there on the bottom. Just Google it, Dirt Sheet Radio. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Just follow me on all these places. I would really appreciate it. We're gonna have all sorts of coverage all week long, as we always do. It's just 24/7 wrestling entertainment news. That shit just comes every single day. So follow us. I will be you can catch me Thursday on Dirt Sheet Radio, on the next episode of Dirt Sheet Radio. And then next weekend, I will be back for the X-Men review, which I unfortunately had to miss this week. I had an emergency, but I'll see you guys there.
Absolutely. We are coming down the home stretch of the G1 Climax. We'll be doing coverage for that later this month. And of course, John will be with us for coverage of AEW All in London coming up at the end of the month.
Oh, shit.
The Wembley
That's
Stadium
right.
event.
I might not be on X-Men. I'll be in fucking Mexico.
Yeah, you'll be in Mexico, pal. I don't know what you're talking about. You damn liar.
I'm going to be in Arena, Mexico, baby. So if you're looking for me, I'm down there.
You're not going to be here. He's going to be in Arena, Mexico, ladies and gentlemen. What match are you looking forward to the most from?
Oh, man. It depends. So this week? If I can make it to Tuesday's show, then I really want to see Kyle Fletcher versus Mascara. Is it Mascara Dorada? It is Mascara Dorada, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was like, for some reason I blanked. But if I don't make it for that, then I'm looking most forward to the Grand Prix, man. That's gonna be fucking wild. And I might, obviously the AEW card is gonna be, it's gonna be what it is. It's gonna be great, whatever. But I see AEW all the time. Like I came to see I came to see CMLL. I can't wait to see that Grand Prix. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. As far as Wednesday, I'm looking forward to Fletcher and Speedball for sure. I think Osprey and Davis is going to be awesome. But low key, I think that Cope and Cage. No, I think Cope and Cage versus the Cope and Cage and the Bucks versus the Death Rider. Low key is going to be a banger. But you're right, Andrade, Ciampa, and Commander. That's going to go crazy.
It's a sick show. Like all around, it's a sick show. And I know people were down on AEW for not having more CMLL involvement. But if you really think about it, and you're a fan who goes to Arena Mexico every week, why the fuck would you want to see more CMLL guys on Wednesday? Like this is supposed to be something they brought for us that we don't get to see all the time. So like I want to see AEW show. So that makes sense, especially when the night before they run an AEW versus CMLL show. Like it's on Tuesday. If you want to see it, it's on my AEW.
We got it available now. You're good to go. Chuck Berries, thank you so much for the love. And yes, we'll be back here tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. Eastern time, myself and Top Guy JJ for our review of tonight's Raw after SummerSlam. Join us back here on Thursday, 1:05 p.m. Eastern time for AE Ramble as we review AEW Grand Slam Mexico, myself and Jimmy Macaram. So got plenty to enjoy here this week. And then Saturday, the flagship podcast, 10:05 a.m. Eastern time, myself, Miss Chrissy Love, and the True Jaw Josh. True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment. We got our Spider-Man reviews coming to an end. We got all the Tom Holland films are going to be dropping our reviews of Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home, and Brand New Day. We're going to probably be doing a live stream for a Brand New Day, so be on the lookout for that over on True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment. Subscribe over there. Follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueSP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat. And check out all the great content we got on the channel right now, like the flagship podcast from this past Saturday, talking about if this was the most lackluster build to a SummerSlam yet. And check out our night one review with myself, John, and Josh. And check out everything that we did last week with the preview, with AE Ramble, with Rated Raw review as well. I will be back tomorrow, so join us live for that. John will be back sometime over the next week or over the next month for G1 and AEW all-in coverage. For John, it is me, your trio phenom, SP3. This has been our WWE SummerSlam 2026 review, night 2 review. We are signing off until next time.